in a period of time where really the world is more connected than it's ever been in history. It's quite crazy. I think there's a period of time when we all crave new technology, new platforms. So social media was incredibly um, sort of an attractive concept in its infancy. And the problem is we erode an awful lot of our privacy. And I think that takes away really our aura. I think the more if we make ourselves too available, um, we lose a little bit of our essence. I think sometimes it's that not knowing is makes it more interesting. But also for our own sort of peace of mind. I removed a lot of social media a long time ago, to be totally honest. I'm only active on YouTube and TikTok, so I just would create video content for the most part. And of course, my books. And when I decide to do anything on my website, that's pretty much it. My lists are getting smaller of the people I interact with. I literally just did some purging and I felt happy doing it. And to be honest, it's just what I want to do. I share my physical media with people. So like, I like to do that just to really inspire people, really, to just don't go all digital and lose your rights because the licenses get revoked. You lose access to things you potentially should own, things you've invested in. By going physical, you have a permanent library, really, whatever medium it is, whether it's books, whether it's movies, TV shows, music, video games, anything and everything. And I like doing that. And why I also like it makes me feel feels like because I've got like nice lighting around it all as well. Um, like I like what I've done. It's my little nook, and I feel like I've got my own little preserved space. It's just for me and like whoever's around me. Um, I don't know. It seems so simple, but you see it an awful lot. Like people with you, even if you've got a Netflix profile or something, you've got like 4 accounts on there. People are sharing it in multiple households, so people have access constantly to what you're viewing if they decide to check out your profiles and things. Because people who have that, they just have an innate interest in what other people are doing all the time, and of course judge them for it. And I just think there's something quite beautiful about no one having access at all. They don't effectively people. What people do, they fill in gaps when they don't have information. And I always find that quite humorous, to be totally honest. That you know, if they don't have the information, so they'll come up with whatever they want, and then they start to convince themselves it's true. And the more they talk to other people through gossip, they build a narrative, and it get eventually it's like Chinese whispers. It ends up so far removed from reality. Um, and again, it's like I find it entertaining. So yeah, I put myself in public where I do my videos, and I try to help and guide people, and like I do my books. But then I do have an innate desire for privacy, and I find that quite special. To be totally honest, that actually makes me happy. So the more I remove people from my life, the more empowered I feel. So I'm not looking for a big circle. I'm just looking for a very small, close um, group that I trust, and it's building that over a period of time. So I'd just say I've just purged an awful lot. I've just got all my gaming accounts on the various platforms I own, and I've just gone on a friend list and pretty much removed everybody, um, bar my daughter. So anybody but her. So if she's on any of the platforms that I'm on, I'll keep her. I kept her, but everybody else, delete, 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 delete. Because the one thing I notice in my life, especially family, is even strangers, of course, when people have a window into your life, even if it's a glimpse, they feel they're active in your life. It's a weird psychology thing. So they think they're active because they know what's going on, even if it's something so trivial or something. It's like you take away the window. It's just then they're just left with curiosity. The same goes the other way, of course. But in terms of other people's lives, the thing with me is I don't. This is the one thing I've never understood, that curiosity over being overly curious, because I don't go looking for people. I don't go looking for people. I just create the content. I just move on. I'm not when you go deep into people's personal lives, I never understand that. It's people get weirdly attached to people's lives, and it can get really, really unhealthy. I saw a video yesterday, and I was going to do a whole content on it, but in the end, I just couldn't be bothered. I talk about a lot of things. And like, for instance, there's a lot of females getting into Formula One and even sim racing, which I think is quite nice. But some are into the racing side, but some get a bit too attached to the other side, and you can see there's an obsession. Women, like females, tend to be obsessed with others, and I find it absolutely mental. So you've got the F1 drivers, which most of us that watch the sport are more interested in, like the cars really, and just like we understand the drivers, where like the career they've had, their attributes. There's all that different variations to it. It gets quite interesting, but you're not like, I don't take it into my daily life. It's like, you have someone that maybe you have your preferences and things, but it doesn't change my day one way or another if it doesn't go well. It's like I'm entertained, and you hope they have a good career. But what I've seen there's a lot of, like, specifically women that I've seen. Not every woman, of course. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying it seems to be this attachment they have. So one person put on their video, um, one of the drivers' partners is so nice. I can't find a flaw with them. And they were like really happy that they couldn't find a flaw with that one. But straight away, my head's thinking, "What do you mean? What do you mean? There's no flaw with that one? That means you found flaws with the other ones. Like, what has he got to do with you? They like someone's waiting for your approval. Once someone's in a relationship or connection, it's got nothing to do with anyone else. So whether you agree or you don't agree, it's absolutely it's absurd. And that's the thing. That's the level of attachment people have. They literally think their opinion holds weight or something, or like it matters or it's significant. It's like, it means absolutely nothing. Focus on your own life. Don't go. And that's that morbid. That's that morbid fascination with people of status. It's that people get attached and they think they're part of their life somehow, and it's like, it's just crazy, isn't it? So it's a weird connection people have. So you do have to distance yourself and have a level of privacy. Another thing, which I thought was quite cool, I saw it today, and it just put things into perspective because we all have low days. And it said, "Here I am." Like, it's in there. It's not me saying it. It's Dave saying it in this video. It's just this. They did it in writing. So they said, "Here I am, depressed and sort of like fed up with how life is, forgetting that I have accomplished a lot of my childhood dreams." And as soon as I saw that, I was like, hell yeah. And that's the thing. We don't, some of us don't dwell in the moment. We're always pushing forwards. I think if you're a high achiever, I think personally, I think you're always under pressure from yourself to keep achieving. So like, I get fed up that I'm not where I want to be in life, that I'm missing certain aspects, and things don't seem to be working out. And you think, oh, this is just a nightmare. Like, when's life going to be fair? And yet, here I am. I've fulfilled so much of an ambition, a dream. It's absolutely surreal, isn't it? There's a whole collection of books here. Like, that's crazy. There's some authors that write one book. There's some that do a trilogy. Like, maybe they do 3 books, and you think, yeah, damn, they've done great. I've done 6, and there's still more to come. And like, one of my dreams as a child was one day I will write a book. One day I will write a book. I don't know if I ever will, but that's a dream, and I hope one day I do. And something silly is, I always wanted a typewriter. Now I have 3 typewriters. One's broke. I bought it broke. I just wanted it. It looked cool. Yeah, I've got typewriters. So I don't usually do things half-assed. I tend to do it like go full in. So once I bought one, I just wanted different country ones. I got one, I think it's German, Olympus. I can't remember the brands now. We've got one American, one English, and one German. Anyway, so that's my legacy really, and it's like, yeah, done something quite incredible here. But the one thing people are not always going to get is constant glimpses into my life. You'll get it where I show it, so it's on my terms. And I think that's better. That's better. So sometimes I like to share my physical media. Like I say, I show parts of my home in that sense. I like to show what I have, really just to inspire people, to really empower them to take control in their lives. Because I know it's something simple, but it's literally empowerment. So many people, they just live off services all the time, subscriptions. And the real problem is, I know it's something silly, but it's a real, I personally think it's a symbol really of the lack of control we have in our lives, and how much power we give to the establishment. And you don't even realize you're doing it. So you think you're getting a good deal, you've got a subscription service. Well, what happens is they usually start off either a free trial or they're relatively cheap. They progressively get more expensive and more restrictive as time goes on, as we've seen. You know, all the platforms have done that. They started incredibly cheap. Then they started to introduce advertisements over the top, even with your subscription. Then they started to be really, really strict with viewership in terms of households, which is absolutely surreal. And it just gets more and more, doesn't it? And then they start removing shows you like, things you want. Really, it's to not put everything there at once. So you can't binge it, so you've got a reason to come back. That's part of why they do it. So you lose control. You don't have as much access as you think you do. And like I say, the price just always increases. But because you're so attached to it, and you don't have anything else, you just stay connected. And that's not just with sort of your media platforms. That's even social media. You only have to look around your life and think, where are your addictions? Where are your attachments? Even your mobile phone, for instance, you get convinced that you need a new mobile phone because everybody else has, and it's advertised everywhere. If you didn't see an advertisement, you didn't know there'd be a new mobile phone, you'd be more than happy with the one you have. And half the time, you're doing the same things you was doing anyway. So, like, there's an understanding that the one you have is perfectly fine. Again, this is all advertisement. It's all money gains and things like that. So me, I'm creating a little pocket of time where I'm happy with what I've got. And if the subscription services get too expensive, or TV services, it's like I can drop them and I can be perfectly comfortable with what I have. I have options, and I think giving yourself options in life, I think, is a beautiful thing to do. Because literally you empower yourself. And I think as well, limiting people's window into your life, I think, is incredibly empowering as well, because we do give too much to people and they get a weird attachment issue, or they think they're part of your life when really they're not. And I find that really strange. Um, you know, so people like watch you from a distance. And my attitude is, if I'm not on the phone to you regularly, or you're not in my life physically regularly, then you're outside my core group. And you may not even be part of any group. That's so like I said, people have to just guess what you're up to. So, like, for instance, I say I'm struggling, I say I'm suffering, and I am. But I'm aware anything can happen at any moment. Life improves, can improve quite dramatically. And maybe the last time people saw or heard you was a moment of suffering. So naturally, they're going to feel a narrative to fit that storyline. But what if behind the scenes something great happens and no one knows, and you're just going off to live the experience? Because that's what I want to do. I just want to live experiences. I don't want to keep sharing it every minute. I'll share it where I feel I need to, or I think it's helpful to people. But I also want to have things for myself and, like, again, whoever's close to me. So it's not for everyone to know every little thing. And like I said, I think there's something powerful and empowering about that. So, yeah. But I mean, that just fits my personality anyway, because I'm like an introvert, extrovert. So I'm great in groups and I can be the center of attention and I can do great with people. But overall, I like my own company, and I like to just I like to relax in in more of a quiet environment, just one-on-one with people and things. Um, so I'm happy just to step back and just keep to myself, really. So yeah, so I just literally, well, I went through lists and just remove. Nothing personal. It was just like remove. Don't need people sort of glimpsing at what I'm up to at the moment, even if it's a video game. What platform is he playing on? What game is he playing? Who cares? Don't worry about it. You don't need to know my ins and outs of what my habits are. Yeah, and like I said, we're achieving more in life, I think, sometimes than we even give ourselves credit for. It would seem absurd, wouldn't it? Like, thinking now, like, there's me all depressed on getting miserable day in, day out, really, recently, when I've got so much to be proud of. And, maybe I should be more easy on myself and give myself a pat on the back, really, for not just persevering, but really pushing myself to fulfill my potential. I think that's something beautiful in itself, isn't it? It's not the fact that you're just resilient, because obviously I have that. But I think it's the fact that I'm fulfilling a potential that was untapped before. Like, I'm far more intelligent than I ever give myself credit for. I'm far more articulate than I give myself credit for. Effectively, I'm becoming who I am more and more every day. And I find that quite beautiful. And I just think sometimes I think like all of us should have this where we sort of value ourselves enough to not allow everybody in our lives. We don't, it's not like I always look at that and it's like too many people live like this popularity contest thing. They just seek attention it's quite interesting, isn't it? People are seeking attention all the time. And here I am trying not to give anyone attention. Like I don't want attention. It's like just leave me in peace. I want my work to progress. So like I don't care about follower numbers. I never had to care about that. But I'd like a fair amount of views because that's just fair. You know, it's not fair if someone gets like loads and loads and you can barely get a handful. It's just what's this? Because the videos are there to help people. I know the majority of people don't engage in content, so they don't really click like and things. So that's just habits of people. And videos can naturally progress into another one anyway. So it's not always easy to click like. So I don't really need people's reactions to the videos. I just need to be able to give it a chance to reach the audiences. That's all. And of course, I'd like to be able to make a sustained living from it because I feel I deserve that from the work I do. But overall, I'm not looking for people to cheer me on. And people certainly don't need to have personal access to my life. And I would find it really, really weird, like incredibly weird and deranged. And I'm stating that now, that whoever I end up in a relationship with, people start to form and gather an opinion on it and then start deciding whether they agree or not, because it's like none of your business. Whoever I pick in life, and I consider my partner. That's my choice. That's my decision. I don't need someone's approval. I don't need any. Don't worry about that. That's just strange. In the same way, it's not for me to decide who other people should be with. That's just absolutely ridiculous. Love goes beyond statistics. So you might naturally think if you're intelligent and you're a good communicator, for instance, you're going to be you'll naturally be with someone who is also highly intelligent and a great communicator. But that's not necessarily the case. I'm not looking for a mirror of myself. I'm looking for a certain way of feeling, really. Being able to trust someone, and then just like feeling free and safe. But that's a good place to start. But I think having similar core values. I'm not looking for someone to just mirror me. Because I find I like when they say opposites attract, I get that to a degree because I think it makes things a bit more interesting because people open you up to things that maybe you wouldn't naturally be interested in, you wouldn't actually consider. And I think that's quite good. I think that's good, you know. So some people might say, "Oh, you're too different." It's like, can you be too different? You know, why are we looking for the same? If we're going to look for the same, I might as well marry myself. Why would I want to marry myself? Anyway, it's one of those videos where I'm just maybe revealing too much, but I'm going to be switching off soon. I am excited about working on my upcoming books. I know I go through periods where I say, oh, I hate this, I can't be bothered, I'm not doing it. But the reality is I've got multiple manuscripts on the go, and I want to start committing more time to focusing to get some more work done in that regard. It won't always be working on the next project, which is my spiritual book. So, of course, if I really hammered that down, it'll be out by the end of June. Whether it comes out end of June, I don't know for sure because it depends how much time I commit to it, because I want to work on the other projects at the same time. Normally, I'd say just focus on one and get it done, but I've already got enough books, I think, to say that I can give myself license to enjoy the process. So when I want to work on a different project, if it's personal growth, maybe it's talking about connections and things like that, even things I just spoke about just now. Investing in ourselves and things, you know. Sometimes I go down a path and I just want to sort of investigate that in my mind a bit more. I don't want to be forced to sort of go down one path, focusing on this book because that's what I'm working on. When I've got my mind is really attracted to this concept at the minute, I want to sort of like unravel things and process it and just enjoy that doing that. And then hopefully, organically, the projects will just finish and that book will release. And then I get to focus all my energy on this one and then maybe another concept. And I just need to start making more of a priority to get them done. So yeah, it's like even people that seem put together, they still have sort of internal battles, you know. But I know what I need to do to achieve my dreams, achieve my goals, and it's always like take that step, always take steps forward. So we can have moments where we maybe falter, but then there'd be moments when we sort of like gather our senses again. So I just think personally, I think the videos are going to slow down intentionally, but while I focus on the books and do other things as well, because I'm recognizing a bit more privacy is in order really. And who knows, maybe I'll resurface with a much improved life. That'd be nice. You know, or not. You don't know how life plays out, but wouldn't that be remarkable? You're like gone for a few months, you find yourself in a relationship, you're married out of nowhere, and it's like, what the hell happened there? Not saying that would happen. I'm putting pressure on someone in that way, not even with anyone. It's just crazy how far. What my point there is just how fast things can evolve. You know, you can go from nothing to 100 mile an hour quite swiftly, really. And then of course, who knows where career takes you? You know. And even if it's not even huge career achievement, involvement, it might just be like finances are really hard, and it just seems, and then you gain just a traditional job, but you're going and it's working out. You're enjoying the process going there on the side. You're working on your project. Who knows? But the reality is, no one's really going to know unless they're in my inner circle what's happening in my daily life going forward to that extent, because that's personal for me. So you know, I just getting on with the process of just living now and just getting on with life and not giving everyone a window, because I find that quite exhausting in all honesty. Oversharing. It's like don't really need to. I want to have things for just me. Let's say, and those closest really. Anyway, whether this is helpful to anyone, I don't know. I just recognise a lot of people, they do overshare too. I think like I said, there's a huge popularity contest that's going on in society at the moment, where everybody just wants to be famous for the sake of being famous. Um, and I just look and think, I don't get it at all. Like, it's just crazy, you know. Obviously, people I think a lot of the time, people are just trying to find themselves, aren't they? They're trying to find something to invest in that would make them proud or give them some sort of like identity. That's the main thing. I think there's a huge identity crisis right now with people. So a lot of people just mirror and copy other people while they're trying to figure themselves out without realizing really it should be should be following your passions, not where you just think an opportunity could be found. You chase the opportunity rather than your passions, you're going to feel empty anyway, aren't you? Because you know you end up living a life you didn't ask for. It's a bit like where I see these social media people. And I always said the bubble burst, and it's bursting now. And I said that before. The ones that do the lives and the gifts all the time. They even sleep with the camera on, and I'm thinking this is outrageous. Like, when do you stop? Because you don't know how to stop. Because you're attaching that to money and your self worth. You literally can't afford to turn it off. Because as soon as you turn it off, you're going to feel empty. Which is kind of the opposite to me, because I want to turn it off. I don't want to do lives. I actively decide not to do lives on purpose, because I don't want to commit to that level of attention. I don't want to commit to say, like, oh, I'm going to sit here for 3 hours or 2 hours. I don't know how long I want to sit there for. I might just turn it on and get fed up after 15 minutes. I'm not doing it. But the other people, they can't turn it off. And then what happens when the bubble bursts? And even if you don't turn it off, you're not getting anywhere anyway. Like, your views are down, your money's not coming in, people don't want to gift anymore. The platforms go through periods, a bit like what I said about the TV subscriptions. The platforms also do that. If you're not savvy with social media, you'll get left behind. If you're interested in marketing, for instance, and self promotion and all that stuff, because some platforms, they will offer you money as an incentive for a period. Then this incentive drops, the money wanes, and then there might be a new platform that offers money. So you need to be ready to pounce on the next opportunity if that's the path you want to go, which for many will be exhausting, very stressful. And you're going to have added competition because there'll be new faces that's resurfaced, you know? So all of a sudden your star's fading, and it was a period of time where you was maybe getting what you wanted, but it was never aligned with anything of value as substance. So I often look at those people and just think, you're going to have a huge problem in life at some point when that bubble bursts. Because the bubbles always burst. But it's really, how stable are you in the background? So if a bubble bursts and you're confident in yourself and you have direction, you have fulfillment, it doesn't matter so much that the bubble bursts, because you're still grounded in yourself. If you don't even know who you are and you're literally portraying something you're not, so you're putting on a facade, you're wearing a mask, you're playing a character, what happens when that character no longer exists? Who are you now? And it's a hard thing for people to do because their ego. A lot of people live in their ego. Anyway, I'm not going to go on a huge deep tangent with these things. I just, it's just I think people just need to find themselves a bit more, and I think don't seek it in others, because I think if you try to attach your worth by the attention you get and others' opinions of you, you're going to find yourself incredibly disappointed, either now or in the future. Because a lot of time, those who judge, they don't even know themselves, let alone you. So it's like, really, we just got to start thinking, what do I think of me? And then I think, what does the young version of me think of me? And I think the young version of me would be going, what the hell? No way. No way we did that. Nah, we couldn't do that. Yeah, I think the young version of me would be so proud it's ridiculous. So maybe I should start being a bit more proud of me, a bit more, maybe. Yeah, it's quite something, isn't it? And yeah, I'm still not satisfied. Um, yeah, something for me to work on, I think.